Kenny, episode 22 of the podcast. Tonight we're joined by Ayrshaw's fittest female, Tayla Hunter. So, friend who doesn't know Tayla, she's a champion bikini athlete. You train out of Extreme Gym, is that right?
That's right, yep.
Yep, and you've got, you're coached by Tony Pang as well?
Yep.
Big shout out to Tony. We've actually got Tony coming on the show as well at some point.
Oh, do you?
Aye, so that'll be
at some point.
That'll be good.
He's my main man.
Possibly next week. So that'll be interesting.
I need to do like a million press ups before he comes on this episode, Gavin. He is incredibly fit, isn't he?
Just have your protein shake at the side.
Yes, exactly. Full of beer.
That'll be me, full of beer.
Aye. So Tayla, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate
it.
Big time. So what we're going to do, Tayla, we'll just kind of roughly touch on what it's been like for you over lockdown and stuff like that, and then we'll go back to you sort of growing up and how you get into the sport and stuff like that. So, but firstly, how's this kind of situation been for you, the whole lockdown thing with your training and stuff like that?
So obviously prior to lockdown, I was in prep to go to Worlds. So I was supposed to compete in Worlds in May, and obviously it got cut short in March. So I kind of battled between March and May about, my head just wasn't in the right place. I was absolutely devastated that Worlds had been cancelled. So, but I still pushed on through. Like I still train. I've still been training every single day. And my dad's an absolute angel. He gave me all of his equipment. So I've been out the back.
Wow.
Oh, he's been absolutely fantastic to me. So he gave me all his equipment. I've still not missed a training day. I've done all my cardio. But the motivation to do home workouts is just shite.
I was going to ask, like, it's just
shite.
So see how you're saying your dad gave you all his kit.
Mm-hmm.
Is it proper like Olympic bars and you can do like your like deadlifts, bench presses, all that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
what a legend, man.
I had to go back to the basics. Like I've got the bar and I've got a bench with a leg extension in it and a leg curl. So back to basics. So. But it's been ideal for me to be able just to really work on my form and really execute my form now rather than push really, really heavy weight. So every session's still been so beneficial. But lockdown slowly becoming a game of who do you know that has a gym and how far are you willing to travel to get there?
Yeah.
So
do you find like it was like, see back in the day when people like stormed castles and like, it was like this guy has the most gold and that's like the guy who has the gym that would let you in. That's what it's like, innit? It's pure weird. It's
becoming a popularity contest, like where's the nearest leg extension?
That's what I need. I just need one of them.
For me, I've just been embracing it.
Oh, I have done nothing but drink.
Actually, I've ripped the arse out of it. I've not embraced it, I've ripped the arse out of it.
It's been tough, but mentally it's been really, really tough. I'm always used to being out and about and being a really busybody. Like I'm out from 5:30 in the morning till 9 at night, and when that's everything's taken away from you, and then my show was ripped for me, the gym was ripped for me, and I was just sat there like I actually punched a jar of Biscoff in my kitchen because I was so angry.
You punched a jar of Biscoff?
Punched
a
jar
of
Biscoff.
Is that like you ate it?
Right,
okay.
That stuff
Biscoff's a weird. I feel like Biscoff's the 20 like the Millennium a Marmite, because I think it's alright, it's not great, but people love it.
I think it's the new Nutella.
I think it's the new. I think it's the Gucci. Oh,
it's the Gucci.
I think it's the Gucci. I don't know, man. I'm not like that. Wow, but people have put it on Instagram for the past 3 months, going, "Wow, Biscoff." I'm like, oh.
I went through a stage of having pancakes every single morning, and I had Biscoff on them every day.
What is it? What even is it? Like,
it's a biscuit spread. You never tried the wee biscuits? Wee coffee
I've had a biscuit. I used to come in hotels. There used to be a hotel thing.
That's right. Aye.
Used to be a hotel thing.
Somebody just thought,
Tayla's no stop gone.
You can tell I'm dieting because I feel like
what's your calories sitting at per day now?
Pass. Well, I was bulking there between March and just up to about 3 weeks ago. So the calories were quite high because we had to really, really push in my training. now I'm cutting. I don't want people to copy my calories, so I'm kind of reluctant
Right,
to tell.
you don't need to tell us a single word, because it's no nice for youth.
It's only because I don't want other girls thinking, oh, it's all right for me
That's
to
good.
eat calories.
Aye, smart.
Aye,
Aye.
you're right.
Does that make sense? But
No, 100%. I understand that. It's no nice to somebody X, Y, and Z kilos to be going, well, she's doing it, so I can look like her if I do this. Nah, you're right.
And also,
correct.
your training is totally different for somebody who might just want to lose a wee bit of weight, or do you know what I mean? So, you're spot on.
Wow, like that's the difference.
They're low right now because I'm doing a mini cut, but they're low.
It's besides the point. It's no nice to, because people take these things as gospel, as if, if I have that many calories, I'll look like you.
Exactly.
No, come on, buddy.
I know.
Every single person's different, and that's what people don't understand. That if they see I'm eating so many calories, I'll just copy that, and maybe I'll end up looking the same as Tayla. Not that I'd look great in them or whatever, but it's it's the whole education aspect that they don't understand really.
Yeah.
You're so right. That was so responsible, you there. Thank
Right,
God you're here.
All responsibility can go out the window now.
Aye.
5 minutes in. But so Taylor, what we'll do, we'll jump back to growing up. So whereabouts was it you grew up, and were you into any sports and stuff like that growing up?
So I grew up in Hurlford with my mum, my dad and my sister. Hurlford's just outside the basically Kilmarnock. It's still the Planet postcode. So I grew up in Hurlford, and I always kind of dabbled in and out of sports, but I could never stick to anything. I was like dead chubby, and I was so unathletic. Like my sister, she's always been the athlete, like the natural athlete. She's a gymnast, dancer. I was always so jealous of her. She's always been a great athlete. So I done football, I done dancing, but I just couldn't stick to anything, and I was a shite swimmer. So no, I just kind of dabbled in and out of things. And my sister, she was the trophy winner. Always.
So how close were you to being? Like, were you second or were you third? Or?
No, never. Like,
I
would never be top 3 in anything really. I'd always be last.
Oh man.
So I was never great when I was younger, but I wasn't committed when I was younger. I was a bit of a chunker. I liked drama when I was younger, so I went to drama school.
Right.
So I liked doing all the singing and the acting type of stuff, but when it came to active sports, I was just like,
that would be quite good for you, I suppose, later on, like, because obviously you're on stage and stuff like that. Does that help, do you think?
Oh, I never even thought of that.
Natural on the stage.
When I go on stage, I'm a totally different person. Like my alter ego just comes out, and I pretend I'm this. Well, I feel like I'm Beyonce. I pretend that I'm Beyonce on the stage, but
that's what you need, a bit of confidence.
There's acting, then you need to look the part to act the
part.
Like,
Do
you feel like you actually do? Because people have different like egos, and like, even famous people have like, right, I change it to this person, change that person. That's how you feel when you go on the stage, and you go, right, well, this is who I'm on now.
It's so weird. Like I feel like a totally different person. Like I'm a pure bag of nerves when I'm backstage, but see the minute I go on that stage, I just forget all my nerves, and I totally love it. I'm a new person. I'm so confident on the stage, and I think that's why I've perhaps done a little bit. Like I've done okay because I'm so confident on the stage, and I've got like good stage presence, but it just comes naturally to me to be like to act so flamboyant on the stage. Like I'm so sassy on the stage, but I'm not like that in real life. I'm an arsehole in real
life. We noticed that before we came on here and recorded, but we didn't actually. No, come on.
Do you remember like joining your first gym? Do you remember the first time you ever stepped foot in a gym?
Yeah, so I went to join my first gym when I was with my dad. So it's my dad that kind of helped me get me into all the sports. He still bodybuilds. He's 52, and he's my training partner. So he helps me to the gym. I joined the gym when I think I must have been about 16. But I was a pure cardio bunny. I didn't really enjoy it, so I ended up leaving. I didn't actually go back until I was about 20.
Right.
Well, for people who don't know you, how old are you now? It's rude to ask a girl their age, but
it's on your Instagram.
Gav just messaged me there and said, just ask her quick.
I'm 26.
Right, so there you go. 6 years you've been lifting weights then, and
26 years I've been training. The first 2 years were probably a bit of a mess about,
Just
like
testing
just trying to
and
find my
finding.
way about. But the last 3 to 4 years I've been seriously properly structured training with a proper structured diet. Yeah.
Cool.
I was going to ask, were you always quite lean and stuff like that then growing up? But obviously you've said you weren't.
Answered that. Aye.
Then, is that why you became a sort of a cardio bunny at first, do you think? Because you were conscious, or?
Probably, yeah. So as well with girls, they don't really know, I think, at that age how to train properly. So yeah, I would go in and I would just be a total cardio bunny. I would do 15 minutes on the stepper, 15 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on the bike to try and lose body fat.
Yeah.
Aye. No,
weights.
I say that's probably 70. Well, no, maybe no new. See, women, girls, teenagers, women of all ages have now grasped that lifting weights doesn't make you feel big and huge and bulky. I feel like it's beginning to turn, it's beginning to change. Like lifting weights, women with a bit of broader shoulders makes your hips look smaller and all these sort of things. But no, it used to be a real stigmatism that women don't lift weights. No.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's getting over the fear factor of going into the men's section of the gym and lifting the weights. Like, girls feel comfortable doing classes and doing cardio because they feel like that's just it's more acceptable in the gym, and they feel a little bit more safer doing that. Whereas we now need to drum into females that go down, and you can probably lift heavier than some of the bloody guys down
Definitely.
there.
Aye.
Certainly me just now, man. Be serious, this is real. But no, you're right, it used to be like the weight sections for men, and women getting into that, but it used to get stared at and like, what you doing, and body pump and body attack. Maybe body pump more than body attack was a women's class. And
legs, bumps and tums, that's what they'll do. Legs, bumps and tums and go on the treadmill. I couldn't tell you the last time I'd done a class. It must have been years. It was years ago.
I remember there was a certain member, a male member, Gavin, of Italian heritage, who owned a restaurant, used to do body pump. This was one of the most ripped guys you've ever seen in your life.
Really?
Didn't go into the weights and stuff like that, but how this guy was ripped, wasn't he?
He's different though, because he had...
Come on, you're going to say genetics.
No, I'm not going to say genetics. Right, I'm going to say, so basically this guy owned a restaurant, right? So his diet was spot on. He owned an Italian restaurant, so he was getting and having quality food every night, like he'd have a steak every night. He was calorie counting. He was in proper good shape. You just say his name. His name is Stuart. Kenny.
He was Stuart. I don't know. It'd be cool to have him on one time, though. But I'd love to have Stuart on because he's one of the nicest, loveliest guys you've ever met in your life. Yeah. But when it came to the whole weight things, he always used to be like, "It's not really my thing. Well, why not?" And he used to enjoy the time. But it was him and his partner. They both came in that together. But I just find that sometimes guys have and females have this stigmatism that the classes are for females and the gyms and the weights are for guys, and it's just no nice. It's no nice to see, especially if we've both worked in a gym, Gav. It's no nice.
I know.
It's just
it's such a divide, and it really shouldn't be like that. It should be fitness is fitness and training is training, and if you want to go in there and be your best version, you do what suits you best, not by your gender.
Yeah.
So it would just be great to see more girls go out there lifting weights and pushing themselves in their training, their strength training, and because that's how I managed to see results rather than just doing classes all the time or just going on doing the stepper all the time. That makes sense.
Finding something you enjoy as well, because you obviously enjoy it or you wouldn't be doing it. Do you know what I mean? So definitely.
I think that movement is definitely happening. Are we going to move on to talk about Extreme Gym at some point, Gav? Because I don't want to start.
No, on you go, mate. On you go.
So I've been in. What Extreme Gym is it you go to?
It's the one in the East End, so it's not the one in the West End.
I've not been in that one.
Oh, you know.
Not been in that one.
The good one, yes.
Is that the good one? Is that the good one? Is it?
I like them both.
But no, it's just obviously like you're saying, it'd be good to because the female aspect of fitness and looking good and looking lean and that is becoming more and more popular and popular. It should be good to see one of the walls attributed to like a female lifter. All the walls have got like big guys and big strong men. It'd be cool to see one. I don't know if the other one that you go to has got that, or Should be
there
pretty
is
cool.
actually, yeah, there
They
is.
do?
There's women on the
Yes.
walls, yeah, and also I know that the West End, the one in Whitehenge has just been done up, and there is a female bodybuilder on the
Oh
wall.
Oh, there we
man,
go.
I wish we'd spoke about this before and I'd looked like the activist for that, man. That's devastating.
Yeah, so
God's sake.
I
Gab, you
think
should have stopped me when I...
there's
Even-
a lot of female athletes come out of both extreme gyms now, like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah, I think we run
There's
a
a
good
few-
race there.
There was who was the girl who used to work in the village, Gav? She used to work in health and beauty.
Oh, Lauren. Tony
Lauren something.
PT's her as well.
Does he?
Lauren,
Yeah.
Lauren.
Aye, she was a spa
Lauren.
therapist.
she's my best pal.
Oh,
Oh,
is she?
she's no.
Oh, aye,
not
'cause
a
she's
pal.
Lauren
she's
Roy.
fair, she's fair, you know, yeah,
Lauren Beattie, for Aberdeen.
Aye, that's right.
Aye, there
She's
you go.
a nut.
Is she? They don't
Aye.
want to say too much because we're so popular. Get done. But no, she's
Aye.
Aye, so she competes as well, doesn't she?
That's right.
Aye.
That's how I met her. Me and her met on the stage.
Oh,
And
wow.
then we became best
Wow.
pals.
There we
Oh,
go.
that's amazing. There you go. You can mention that you spoke to Gavin Kenny at some point, and we'll go who.
Or even
who
better,
got
she
it.
might even listen to it, Kerry. So, hi, Lauren.
Imagine,
If you're listening.
imagine. You know.
But I see when you talk about like stigmatism and stuff. I remember years ago. I want to say maybe not as long as that. Maybe 5 years ago. I don't know if it was ever true, but I remember the rumor that to get into to be able to join Extreme Gym, you had to bench 100 kilos. Do you remember that?
Aye.
That's true.
Was that a thing?
I was going to say
true.
that was true to an extent
Wow.
with regards to when they first started.
That's
the very
true. I heard that as well.
There we go.
You heard it, but I don't think I think it was true to an extent. After so many months, they went, we shouldn't really be doing that. should
Not a lot
we?"
of people can bench 100 kilo unless you're. Aye.
To be fair, I get in at my peak. Yeah.
Aye, there you go. I never.
Way back in the day, when I worked in the Marriott, the rugby boy Craig that I worked with, he was like, "We'll go down." I went, "Craig, I can't lift 100 kilo." He went, we'll just chance it. He paid the tenner, and the guy looked at me and I was like, "Wait, mate."
So, so back to Tayla, Kenny. 'Cause
I know, sorry, that was a
we
bit of a
always
tangent there.
drift off, didn't we? We always do
It's
it, but
shocking.
It's
It's
allowed,
actually,
mate. It's allowed.
we should
Sure,
allow
podcast,
guests
do what
to
you want.
tell us to shut up, but they shouldn't. They should listen. Get back to me. This is all about me.
But how did the getting into the sport come about then? So obviously you said you went back when you were 20, trained for a couple of years, just doing bits and bobs. Then when you're 22, did it just become a thing that you're thinking, I'm quite enjoying this?
No, so there's a bit of like a story. So
Oh yes, love a story.
do you like a story? So so I kind of struggled with body image when I was younger. So I was always a bit chubby. I kind of had like disordered eating patterns. I wasn't confident. I was really ill at one point with my eating, and I couldn't really function. And so I was so unhappy with the way I looked, and that's why I went to the gym and was a total cardio bunny. I did lose a bit of weight, and then I kind of fell off the wagon, and then I put a bit of weight back on when I was 20. So I decided to go back to the gym, and then I done a little bit of lifting, and then I felt like I wasn't really progressing. So that's when I moved into CrossFit.
Right.
So I then competed in CrossFit for 2 years.
Right.
So then that really got me really developed. So like glutes, delts, like from
Full
all
body.
the thrusters I managed.
CrossFit is a man. It's a different beast. It's a pure
It's
different
a
beast.
totally different ball game
Mm-hmm.
from bodybuilding. But so I managed to build myself a really good base from that. And then I was still doing bodybuilding on the side. But I was really quite thick with CrossFit, and then I decided I didn't like my body because I was one of these like pure massive chaps, like really thick waist, like really bulky. So that's when I decided to go on a cut, and I met Tony, and we went on a 20-week cut, done a photo shoot, and then it was literally like coming into prep season. And then I was like, should I compete? And he was like, do you want to? I was like, oh, fuck it, let's just do it. So that's when then we went on a prep, and then it's never really stopped since.
Wow. So how long have you been working with Tony now?
we have been working together now since June 2018.
Right.
So that's 2 years. 2 years.
Two and a bit years.
We've done a lot in 2 years, eh?
Yeah, we're a good
You've been
team.
so
Like,
busy, man. You've been a busy girl.
he's a phenomenal coach. Like, he's totally changed my life. I'm not just saying this to like, cause he's my
Big him
coach.
up. Yeah, no.
He's totally changed my life. So he coaches me as an athlete, but he also now mentors me as a personal trainer and as a coach myself. So he's my mentor for coaching, and he's also my coach for to be an athlete. So he's just done so much for me. Honestly, he's just incredible. He's such an inspiring athlete as well, and he squats so low. Like,
I've seen his videos.
Squats are great. Nobody can fault his squats. Like, that's what I need to do. Like, work on that. So yeah, he's phenomenal. So, and he's really, really pushed me to places I've never ever been. So I can't honestly thank him enough for everything he's done for me.
I always admire, not just athletes, but PTs, like you saying that I've got a mentor and I've got a coach, because a lot of people's egos are too big and they think, oh, I'm a PT, I don't need a PT to tell me. And you're like, no, there's levels, and there's people who you might be, your knowledge might be great, but there's always somebody there who's got knows something different or knows something a bit better or whatever. So that's good that you've got somebody to help you with that side of things as well.
I'm perfect in every way, apart from this spot.
I was going to say, apart from that big...
It's the extra guest. Aye.
This
other guest. Sorry, Taylor, this guest it's overlooking you, but I don't mean it. I'm going to go and get a hat and we'll just hide it. But no, there's always, when it comes to PT, you know it yourself, Gav, if you work in the village, you never know everything. There's always somebody I get in touch with when I need to get advice, and somebody I always fall back onto, which is it's something you need, because you never know
somebody
everything.
To give you a kick up the arse as well.
A bit of reality check. See, to be honest, the person that gives me the biggest reality check isn't even a PT. Just my mate who goes, right, fatty, what are you doing? And then I'm like, right, all right, okay. Like, it's just something that you need in life.
There's always room for improvement. Always. You never stop learning, and as soon as you think that you can't learn anymore, that's when you really need to, like,
you regress. Correct. You fall back.
See, when you were talking about getting into the sport there, did you ever see any like female athletes or pictures that you kind of inspired you a wee bit as well? No, was it just literally you told me and that was it?
Did Tony push you towards it, or did you go, oh, that'd be something I'd be good at?
No, it was something that I thought about. Like I kind of seen the things on Instagram, but I didn't really follow anybody's journeys. I've never really been one for stalking athletes on Instagram, just because it's not going to make a difference to my training regardless, because I work as hard as I can, and I'm not going to work harder just because somebody else is working hard. So I've never really seen anybody before, but I always have this ethos that I always want to just be the best version of myself all the time and completely push myself out of my comfort zones all the time. So I'm always looking for the next thing. So when it was, the gym was kind of okay, that's when I went to CrossFit, that's when I competed. I looked for something else, and I was like, okay, bodybuilding, let's do a photo shoot, and then let's do shows. So now I'm like, what is my next thing after this? Yeah, so I'm constantly just wanting to improve myself all the time, so, and just throw myself in the deep end. So yeah, there was nobody really that I was like, oh, I want to be like that. I just wanted to just go and be the best version of myself.
No, good on you. What was the CrossFit sort of competitions like? 'Cause I've seen a few videos and stuff, and I know a girl who does the I used to work with her, she does the commentary or commentating or whatever. Shona.
How'd you ask that, Gav? Because I was going to ask that. How did you go on at that?
I actually came first. I did my first. I won down in Etihad Stadium.
Oh, so, nice. Completed that then. That was you.
Completed that.
On the next one.
I totally love that. Like, CrossFit and bodybuilding are similar in terms of do not leave any reps in reserve, right? So if you want to continuously progress, you don't leave reps in reserve. You train to failure, right? That's my ethos. You train to failure. You go into CrossFit, you need to do thrusters for time. You're training for failure. So that's the same mentality that I have when I go into the gym. If I'm doing a shoulder press, I'm still training for failure. every single time. I never leave reps in reserve, ever.
Have you ever watched Arnie's like autobiographies, or I've not read that, or the Netflix, or the what's the movie ones, and he says he doesn't count a rep until he feels
until he feels
a regression.
That's where the magic happens.
The magic. Oh wow, that's such a better way of like describing that
explains
rep,
this. Because I just leave reps everywhere.
Oh, I could walk around the house and pick up reps like for weeks. Like, but no, like that. So, can you do a muscle up, Ben? Could you do a muscle up at the time? Was that a thing?
No, I still can't do a muscle up.
Okay, that's fine. I'm a
So hard,
I still can't do one, and I still can't do a handstand walk properly either.
I can't.
That's just funny, isn't it? The total differences in the sort of types of training as well, because it's like you're going for doing 400 squats or whatever the amount may be, to then walk with your hands, and do you know what I mean? It's mental. It's so unique.
The strength stuff in the cardio, like endurance stuff, that's cool. I can do that. When it comes to gymnastics, I'm like, the fucking point of me here, guys.
Can do everything? We can't do everything all the time. You know, what you may do.
But my sister, she's phenomenal at gymnastics. So,
do you look like each other? So if you went to a competition together and there was like gymnastic stuff, you could send her out, and lifting stuff, you could do that. Like, that would be cool.
I may dye my hair dark, but do you know, actually, I'm dyeing my hair dark next week.
Exclusives, yes.
Exclusives. This is just in.
This
you know
is
what
in.
they say about a woman who changes her hair?
You say again?
You know what they say about a woman who's changing her hair?
Had her heart broken? No. Oh, well, there you go. You shouldn't ask two guys this question, then, should you?
No. What is the correct answer?
Apparently, she's going to change the world. So
there you go.
Well, that is complete opposite what I thought.
One rep at a time.
One hair colour at a time, Gav. I wish we could edit this now, because I feel heavy bad saying that. I feel heavy dirty.
Imagine I didn't have my heart broken last week, though.
Well, then you shouldn't have said that, should you?
I would be like, what was it?
Right, well, here's like a question very quickly, change subject, getting into sport, what's the process like? How much more complicated does that question go for what Kenny just asked you? No. Are we going to go into macronutrients? We might have just overlooked that.
I want to ask.
Okay.
About just quickly, like, I know you said obviously you bumped into kind of Tony and stuff like that, and that you started bottom there, but what kind of stands him out? Because he's like a very successful coach.
He is. I've never heard a bad word about him. Never heard a bad word.
What do you think's different for sort of a coach like that to maybe, I don't know, another one who isn't maybe as successful? Is it maybe like an ego thing, or?
I think when you're selecting a coach, you need to really dig deep, and if they've experienced what you want to have in your life, then that's a ticks the box for me.
Yeah.
So he's done the shows, he's won the shows. That was the first box tick for me, and then second of all, he had such a good client retention rate, which is so important in coaching, because if you can't keep your clients, you're obviously shite at your job.
Yeah.
So he had such a good client retention rate, and I knew a couple of people that had worked with him as well, and they had nothing but good things to say about him. So it kind of just felt, I didn't even look at anybody else. It was literally just Tony, and I seen him all over social media, and I mean, he's a lot bigger now than what he was back then. And it just felt so natural just to like approach him. And it's honestly the best thing I've ever done. He has taught me everything, absolutely everything. He's just been totally phenomenal. So, and he's got the patience of a saint.
You must need to see working with athletes, and like the deficits you guys must be in, and like you must be so depleted all the time. Do you know what I mean? And your temper must be,
the body fat that they get to, and don't feed me for a day. And no, it's not that's not how you run. That's not how you work or operate. But if you're being such a low body fat and such a low calorie intake. But so did he teach you all about like macros and how much protein, how many calories, what to go to this and what to go to that?
Yeah,
so did you know a fair bit about it?
Yeah, so I didn't really know that much. In terms of training, I'm sound on training. I know how to train, but I wasn't sure about the whole nutrition side of things. So he helped me, he got my calories, and he got my macros, and he kind of really just taught me how to eat to fuel my workouts, if that makes sense, rather than just eat for the sake of eating. So I knew that protein was the thing to eat. You need to eat protein, but I was also scared to eat carbs because in case carbs made me fat, in case fat made me fat. Do you know what I mean? So I was like a chicken salad type of gal. And then I met Tony, and Tony was like, "No, you need to eat." And it's the best thing I've ever done. He's taught me the whole nutrition side of things, so it's been great.
Actually, it comes down to food as fuel.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like it's
an energy source, and if you want to train well, then you need to eat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
It's so tasty food in it, man. My goodness, food is so tasty.
Oh God, I'm cutting right now, and I'm keep thinking about that Biscoff.
That's Gavin's fault. I'm not interested in that.
I think I've got a wee tub in the cupboard as well.
just pass me air. Try it.
What's Tayla? Can you? I know obviously it's a long process, and you'll not really be able to explain all the nooks and crannies, but what?
Were you going to say nuts and bolts and you bottled it?
I was.
Yeah.
I was going to say Kenny's thing. He says it in every podcast.
No Kenny's. It's not just Kenny's. No. Take responsibility, both of us. Because you were going to say it there.
You've
Sorry, Tayla. We're having a domestic. Gavin, as you were. Just go.
So, could you explain to us and the listeners as well, like the process of starting a camp? Is there a set kind of time? Is it always like 10 weeks or 12 weeks?
Is that a prep?
Yeah, a prep. Sorry, I call that a camp.
What did you call it, a camp?
As if you're fighting. I'm thinking like a fight camp.
Gavin's caught up with the UFC.
So, is there a certain amount of weeks? Yeah, so I will go in with the minimum of 20 weeks to for a show. So me and Tony have like a really, really high expectation of the condition in which I come in. I kind of lack size within the category that I'm in at the moment. So I did start at bikini toned, and I get moved up to bikini trained because of the condition that I was in. So now, because we chase a really, really, really tight condition, we need to make sure that I've got enough time. So 20 weeks minimum is what we will cut for.
What's the first thing you sit down and do? Do you work out, what your diet's going to be like, or is that just kind of play by what your condition's like?
Yeah, you need to play it on a weekly basis, really. Things get changed kind of bi-weekly. However, if I'm making progress, nothing gets changed. But it's hard as well. So like within the first 9 weeks of my first prep, I never dropped a single pound in my first 9 weeks of prep. But I was getting leaner every day. So it's a total, it totally screws your head when you're looking at scales. That's why you have a coach, because I was thinking emotionally. I'm like, no, we need to cut calories. And he's like, no, I'm thinking logically, you're thinking emotionally.
Yeah.
So I can hear the ice cream van.
That's my God, this mic is unbelievable. And or you're at that much of a deficit now that you're itching for me to run up and get you. Do you want a 99? We'll go up and get you. I think it's about a 150 now. It's like 150. I can't believe you can hear that. Gav, can you hear that?
I can hear it, mate.
It's pure clean.
He's not even anywhere near the street, eh? He's stopped now. Sorry.
You've invested in a good mic, Kenny.
He's actually at the end of a street over. I can see him. Oh my God.
A good mic.
Mad hockey ears, man.
Right, sorry, Tayla.
So we do 20 weeks minimum, and so we start off with very, very minimal cardio, and as high as food as we possibly can. So then we have loads of tools to play with to get towards the end. So by the end of prep, I'm on about 2 hours cardio a day with 850 calories and also training as well on top of that. So it's tough. The last 4 weeks of a prep are tough. I remember I was training and I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And I went to my mum's to give her a cuddle, and then I lay on her floor and I was just crying, and I was like, I'm just so hungry. And the anger, you get so angry. Oh, the hanger is a thing, by the way.
Hanger is a thing, definitely. Oh my goodness.
I can't comment
about 850 calories for some people. That when they do these mad diets, that they're like, whoa, that's so much. And they don't understand, like, for somebody who, even if you get up out your bed and you move and you go about your day, you're burning way more than that.
Aye.
It's
just crazy.
so unsustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
Oh, it is.
At what point do you think it becomes borderline dangerous? Because it is quite a dangerous sport when you think about do you ever think about that sort of side of it?
Yeah, I think once you get to a certain body fat, then your health kind of pretty much goes out the window.
Aye.
And you just have your eyes on the prize. So you get the blinkers on and you're just so focused. So I think that bodybuilding, although contrary to the belief, they think that we're all healthy on stage, it is an unhealthy sport.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't think that a lot of people realise how unhealthy it actually is. We know how unhealthy it is, but we know when to stop, and we know that it's not a sustainable lifestyle. We diet and we train at these levels for a specific goal.
Yeah.
And it's so important, it's imperative that people know that this is not sustainable. It's so dangerous if you want to continue to live your lifestyle. Like having 8% body fat, you don't sleep. You got insomnia, like you lose your period. Like your body can't function as a female because you've no body fat. You're just cold all the time. It's so unhealthy. But we do it because we have this love for this freaky love for this sport.
Yeah.
That we just want to go on that stage knowing that we've pushed our bodies and our minds through hell. And it's this mad, weird satisfaction that when we stand on stage.
So is that why? Because obviously it's annoying because we wanted to show the picture that you posted the other week when you had like 8% body fat and you had that exact same like pure. That was one of the big things that I was like, that was so cool that you come on here and explain that to some people.
I'll show everybody.
Gavin's tech savvy here. I don't know if it might work, you might know. Here, right? So that was
a really good post.
Such a cool post because it just puts things into perspective for people who feel like, well, it's even like by Gavin Hollywood. Well, there you go. He was well ahead of his times. But for a lot of people see these pictures of you on stage and you're looking brilliant and they think, oh, I'd love to look like that. And it's just not sustainable. It's for a one-day thing, but it's you're putting that much commitment and love into it. That's why you want to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you go back to it? Because you know how you feel doing that. Like, how is it? Is it
like a tattoo?
Passion?
You know it's bad, but you just do it anyway.
It's a total addiction. You'll never be satisfied in bodybuilding. Like you will see yourself and you'll be like, this needs improved. So you go into off season, you improve what you need to improve, and you come back hoping you're going to be 10 times better. It's an addiction to progress.
Well, see when you say progress in what terms? Is it the poses or is it?
Everything, the tissue, like the tissue that you want to add on, or the condition that you come back in leaner, or we come back with more tissue, we come back with better posing.
There's a lot of things that go into it, I know.
Yeah, you always want to improve every time, so we all want to go near the absolute best versions of what we can possibly do in our bodies. Mm-hmm. And it's for us, we don't do it for anybody else, because realistically, if I was to show that to somebody that's not into bodybuilding, they'd be like, oh. It's a total art to everybody else who isn't into bodybuilding, because they understand the hard work and the dedication that goes into getting a body into such lean condition. So I just love the sport. I absolutely love it, but it's not a sustainable one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's cool. It's so cool that you you equal that, because equal it, because it's so hard. It's so unsustainable. It's so like you say, unhealthy. Like the female body, especially the female body, the male body. I don't know how sustainable it is for the males. It's certainly more stable for the males, or sustainable.
Definitely different, isn't it? It's a different.
Aye. It's a different kettle of fish.
There's the van back again.
There's the van.
Who do you want? I'll nip up. And grab it. Get you 22s. I'll turn this down a bit. Can you still hear it?
No, I still hear it.
It's a wee. I turned it.
Oh no, I can still hear it. It doesn't matter.
Tayla, Gav, I'll mute myself.
One thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, you feel free to say just to skip over it or whatever, but do you think, see, like mental health in a sport like that, see, be seeing yourself in such good condition, and then fluctuating quite a lot. Do you ever feel? Do you think that's quite a big factor in bodybuilding? And what you guys do, like bikini athletes and stuff like that? Is that quite a big thing?
Yeah, so I always say you need to have a good relationship with food and with your body before you start bodybuilding. So if you already have an eating disorder, or if you have body dysmorphia,
that's really big within the male game as well. Really big.
So if you already have these thoughts, and then you go into a bodybuilding show or you go into a prep, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're not doing it because you've got a love of the sport. You're doing it because you're trying to be
admired by somebody else. Yeah.
And it's a really, really difficult one in the bodybuilding industry right now. There's a lot of young girls coming in and they talk about their body dysmorphia and their eating disorders, and they're still competing. And I just want to shake their coaches and be like, you need to get these girls and also these boys, you need to get a healthy relationship with food and with their body first. So when they do get really lean, then they will accept the fact that their body needs to go back to a normal state, because you'll just hold on to these shreds forever.
Yeah.
And it's so unhealthy. So coming out of the prep phase, and when you do get a bit of more body fat, it is a bit of a head fat, because you've put in your head for such a long period of time as lean is the goal. That's the goal. And then it disappears so quickly. But that's when you need to understand this isn't sustainable, and your body's going into a healthy state. It does take your eyes and your head a little bit of time to adjust. So the first couple of weeks after a show, and your body changes really fast, it is hard, but you know that it's your body just going back to a healthy state.
Yeah.
So it's just so important to have a good relationship with food and with your body before you go to a bodybuilding show.
It's education, because like, at the end of the day, these coaches shouldn't be putting these people forward for these sort of things, because it is, like you say, an unsustainable lifestyle. And then like day 3-4 weeks after a show, that's your body clinging and clawing back to normal.
Yep.
So if your relationship with food and your lifestyle goes back to that sort of state, you know mentally, well, you can get prepared for the next one, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It's your health is your wealth, they say, and
that's it. That's so
your health is your wealth. And I personally wouldn't put anybody through a prep if they didn't have a good relationship with food and with their own body.
Yeah.
They would need to sort that out first.
It's like any sort of worker on it. You've got a duty of care, haven't you, for clients and stuff like that. You need to be looking out for their best interest, and you don't just see money signs and see so there was one thing as well, actually, Tayla, I think you put it up your Instagram today, and you were talking about the fluctuate with your off season and on season. Do you need to have two different wardrobes?
But yeah.
Do you still have two different wardrobes? Are you like getting ready for 2021 season? Like, do you empty a wardrobe? Like, does it cost you a fortune?
You know what? It has cost me a fortune.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But I was dieting there for 2 years solid. First, obviously for the photo shoot, for 20 weeks, and then I done prep, which was a year. I prepped for a whole year, and then I started prepping again. So I was dieting for 2 years. So I was really petite for 2 years, and then I went on to a bulk there. And I kid you not, I can't get my shorts past my shins.
I've done that as well, but that's just because I'm locked in.
You stole my joke, Gav, man.
You need to be faster.
Well done, you, Gav. You're so fast. You've always been faster.
You know what? Like, the weight gain's been phenomenal. Like, I've loved it. I've loved the food. I've loved the training. Like, my hormones are cushy. Like,
do you feel much more energized when you're training?
I just feel like a human being. And
so how long do you feel that you can compete? So that you as a person, you've still got a full-time job, you've still got to train, #Vimto. So how long is this sustainable for? Like for an average person, so you would know the average lifespan of a person who does this kind of sport. So what do you think?
Personally, everybody's different, and I also think it's different in terms of if you're natural and if you're unnatural as well, and how long you want to compete for. I'm not enhanced, so therefore, if I wanted to compete in the bigger categories, say figure, for example, and two bros, I would then need to be enhanced. That's not something that that's not the route that I want to go down. So I think that for me, my bodybuilding career would be maybe slightly shorter, because I would go for the bikini category still, and I wouldn't need to push hard each year to build tissue year on year. Personally, for me, I want to have like a family, I want to have kids, and I don't think that this lifestyle is sustainable if I was to do that. So I do have goals within bodybuilding that I want to hit within the next couple of years. And once I hit the goals, then I think that I will go back to CrossFit and compete CrossFit, because I feel like it's a much healthier lifestyle for me in the long term.
Jesus Christ, come back to competing CrossFit. Just a jog in the park.
I know. Do you know, I've never tried it, but I remember when there was a big sort of hype, and I knew I worked with a few people who done it, and there was a few documentaries that I watched, and one of them was on Netflix. And I can't remember the guy's name. It was Matt something, the champion. Matt Fraser. That guy was an absolute beast, and you're just like,
anybody who does CrossFit are just it's a sport, isn't it? It's like an all round, because they cover everything. They even do stretching and all that as well, don't they? Like,
you're fighting to be the fittest, the fastest, and the strongest.
Well, so ultimately you're the fittest person on earth, aren't you? Because you're fit in different categories. And
different categories. Aye.
Honestly, see anybody that hasn't tried CrossFit, like, try it.
I've not tried it. I've seen it, and I'm going.
Right, Kerry. I've not tried it either. So what we'll do is we'll maybe give it a wee try once all this is.
You honestly should.
Once Tayla's ready to do it, we'll go and do it. Right?
Get 10 years or something. He's a wee phone. But one thing I wanted to ask as well. See, obviously you've been on a diet, right? Pretty much you were dieting for 2 years. Sorry.
Yeah.
How much more complicated does like calories, macronutrients, micronutrients become when you start to get to the level that you're at? Because obviously, for somebody losing weight, for example, they would be like, right, we just need a calorie deficit, blah, 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 hit these macros. But how more complex does it become when you start trying to get to where you are?
So for like the average kind of gym goer, I don't really think that macros are that important. I think it's calories in, calories out.
100%.
When it comes to us, so I hit macros to a T. So everything. So the more carbs that you eat, the more water that you can hold, etc. So lead up to a show, my carbs are 0. So for about 4 weeks there, I was on chicken and egg whites. With maybe 1 day a week, I had a high refeed day, which was my carb day. So that's when we allowed for the carbs to get into the muscle for me to be full. So if I had too many carbs leading up to my show day, I would go on the stage and I would look spilled over, I would look watery, but I want to go on that stage looking really tight and grainy and really lean. So we deplete with no carbs, and then I have 2 really high carb days the week of the show, which really fills me out, but I'm still nice and tight, if that makes sense. So it is important, maybe the last 4 weeks of your prep. Prior to that, it's not too important, as long as you're still being able to fuel your workouts adequately and you're still getting enough protein in the last 4 weeks. So that's the battle. What
about your vitamins and stuff? Like, do you take multivitamins or vitamins of like vitamin D or?
Yeah, so we have supplements that we take every day, because you kind of need to. Like iron tablets, you've got your vitamins, you've got your omega-3s, your fish oils. But when I stopped prep, I was so malnourished, it was mad. Malnourished. You kind of have to go and get a check-up at the doctors, because
I can imagine.
So fucked. So yeah, vitamins can only play a little role But obviously we're eliminating so many foods from our diet when we're on prep that we're just really not getting the right vitamins and the right minerals to really nourish our bodies. So we're pretty much like these prunes.
It is such a crazy, it is a sport because it is unbelievable
sport,
that
definitely.
I just can't get my head around how, like, go for Nando's, man. But that goes to show, like, even if you look at like Cristiano Ronaldo just now, like, he's older than me. I'm 31. So looking at Ronaldo, who's 30, what did you see, Gav?
35, I think.
35, even older than me. He has got the fitness of an 18-year-old. Like, it's just dedication. It's just taking different sports and the different dedications that people take, and it's to be admired. But by God, it's got to be scary. Is it no scary at points? You know, go, is this okay? Like, is this taking years off my life? Like,
oh God, yeah. There's times I've been on, like, just I would go to see Tony and I wouldn't even train because I would just cry the whole time because I'm like, something's not right in me. And he was like, Tayla, dieting sucks. Just fucking embrace it.
I'm too soft. I'm so too soft. I go, listen,
right, okay, let's
go and eat something, man. I just couldn't do that to somebody because he sees past that thing. He sees past. He's got your first goal for when you were okay. You were only 18 weeks into a camp and a processor.
He can assess to me, if you feel phenomenal during dieting, then something's not right.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Sense.
Your body,
I can understand that.
Yeah, you're fighting against every natural instinct in your body because like, there's been times that I've been feeding the dog and I'm like,
oh,
over meat, but you feel that's like a natural instinct to want to just have a spoonful of a dog meat because you're so hungry.
Have you ever done it? Have you ever done it? Please say you've done it. Go on. Have you done it? You've done it. You have, haven't you? What does it taste like? What does it taste like?
Pure stinking, man.
Is it? I can imagine. Pure gravy, pure horrible gravy. Ugh, it's not even real meat.
Oh my God, I can't believe I just admitted that.
That's fine. Hey, this is a safe space. Total safe space.
All good. I'm pretty sure
please share this on Instagram because you've got many, many followers and it's really, really nice for them to see.
But see just moving away from the dog food onto the training. I just want to touch on your training, right? Without obviously giving away yours and Tony's tips and tricks and whatever, but
very true.
What's how do you describe your training? Do you have like, you know, upper body days, lower body days, or do you have full body? How do you kind of structure your training?
In fact, here's a better way of wording it. Is there a secret to it, or is it just pure dedication and committing to it and doing everything that you're told? Because it's no a secret that you put chest day, leg day.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it is what it is. We all know.
Oh no, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. I just want to know.
It's just pure dedication.
Aye.
I would say the best way to build a good physique is just to eat, progressive overload, rest, and repeat. You train hard and you train heavy, and you get your adequate sleep, and you eat well, and you can't go wrong. Bodybuilding is so simple, but people make it sound so difficult. It's just not. Like, so I'll do pull, push, legs, repeat. Well, rest, repeat.
Yeah.
So continuously progressive overload, just constantly chasing the numbers in that logbook. Make sure you're better than the time before. And if you're not progressing in your logbook, that means that you probably need to take a rest. Because you should always be aiming to improve your numbers, whether it's number of reps or whether it's a higher weight. So just fucking train heavy and train hard. And don't fucking chit chat. Just go and fucking do it.
Some people like to talk. That's why I'm here. Is your training always 21 sets, or do you change it up?
So usually I do around about 6 exercises per training session, 4 sets, usually between 8 and 12 reps per exercise. I train to failure every time, so it just depends. I'll deload maybe every 6 weeks, depending if I need a deload or not, which just means just dropping the weight or dropping the next about 30%.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just consistency. It's patience and consistency, and that's all it is. There's nothing. People overcomplicate it, and it's not.
It's no magic. It's no magic. You're not taking any magic potion. It's like I said. It's just having that will and having the mental capacity to push through the shite times. Who counts your reps for you? Because see me personally, I lose count quite a lot, especially because I don't train a lot actually. Even counting is a struggle for me. Walking up the stairs maybe you're like 7, is that 9, is that 8? She's like that. But no, I find especially in training, if you're getting to these pure hard, horrible points, numbers go out the window and it's all about trying to get the reps. So
yeah, they can.
is Tony there counting every time, or if you get a training partner you go with? Or?
So I only train with Tony. I don't train with him that often, but I see like kind of sees me as and when required. But it's my dad who I train with. He's my training partner. He pushes me through the shitty dark days of prep, and he cheers me on off season when I'm strong as fuck. So he's always the person who's by my side and makes sure that I'm getting every single rep in. He's been an absolute godsend to me right throughout this journey, as my sister and my mum have been. But my dad is always there to make sure that even the days I don't want to change, like, get your fucking ass to the gym. Like,
no, I'd be like my wee girl, no, come on, we'll watch Moana and cuddle up on the couch.
But you're not a bodybuilder.
Are you kidding? Have you seen that? I've built a big body during lockdown. It's a big body. But no, that's really class. Like, did your dad used to compete then? Did
no,
you ever get,
he hasn't.
He just enjoyed it.
He likes it. I would like him to compete.
Just sign him up, then. Sign him up, and he'll know he's no choice. Just sign him up. He would see if you went, Dad. Like, because I know if my wee girl went like to me, Dad, sign you up for this, I'd go, what do I like you doing now? Because you feel that wee pure innate, horrible. Right, okay, like that's the kind of feeling you would get. He would just
like, oh, no, do know. I think
how much is it? It's about 30 quid to sign up, is it no? Is it loads of pennies? Is it hundreds of pennies?
Like 50 quid.
Oh, so, that's an extra £20. Get a wee fund me going, and that'll be him sorted.
Tayla's dad competing over 50s.
No, wait, give him a name.
Smash it as well.
Mr. Tayla. Well, there you go.
Tayla, see, we were just talking about training there, and obviously with your dad and stuff. I've seen a couple of videos that I don't know if it was you or Tony that's put up with training, and like, see watching them, man, I actually get the fear watching it. Just the amount of pain that you're in, like going through like these last reps. How hard? See if you, I think it was one of them maybe on the leg press or something like that. Can you even walk after you've done that set? Do you just? I
know exactly what set you're talking about. I remember it like it was yesterday because I can still remember the pain. I was screaming "fuck" on the hack squat, and he made me try and pose after it, and I couldn't even like stand in my Converse. I remember putting my heels on. Oh my god, the pain is just mad, but I totally love it. Like that.
So, is it you live for that? Right.
Oh, I love it. Honestly, I love it.
Is it the pain that you feel that you're getting into cramp, or is it the pain that you feel? Because I kind of understand. I've never felt that kind of pain. But do you know what way you feel as if you're going numb and the weight's still moving and you see it move, but you don't feel it move? Is it that kind of?
Yeah. Oh, you feel that.
Yeah, do you know when you go numb, you can feel like your legs going numb and your body going numb. You're like, how am I doing that? That's quite cool.
Your whole body goes numb. Your heart feels like it's going to explode. Your lungs feel like they're going to burst. And there's just so much pain in your leg. I don't know why I get a buzz from it, but
I don't know either.
Do you think it's like that's where women get a hell of a lot of testosterone from? Like, it must be because I get it. I've surely felt that, Gav. I understand that. I've certainly not done anywhere near not to that level. But do you know what I mean? You know, where you feel like you're hitting burnout, you're going, oh, and then somebody's going, just do another one, and you're like, oh, right, okay. Even if it's runs. Do you know what I mean? You're going, and you do it anyway.
When you're with your coach, you don't want to let them down.
You want to impress. You want to be the coach's best.
You always want to be the best you can be in that session. And if he says 2 more reps, and I'm like, okay. And I'll make sure I do the 2 reps, because I'll walk away from that session and I'll be absolutely raging at myself if I never done the 2 reps, and I'll think about it all night.
Nice.
So you always
That's
just
where
want
we're
to keep
different,
it
innit? That's where we are definitely different people. Can you hear the guy cutting his houston or something like that earlier now? Jeez.
Gary, you need to move house for this podcast.
See, I feel that off.
Ice cream vans and Waynes and...
No Wayne's yet. No Wayne's yet.
No Wayne's
Wayne's
in
are
it?
Wayne's our previous podcast. No.
Taylor, one of the last podcasts we had, a wee boy was trying to jump over a ramp on a motorbike.
Plastic ramp, not a quad. He had a quad. The guy
sorry.
had a quad.
So
I stay in a posh area, man. We guys have quads and that. You know? I feel like this spot has really brought the noise. It's bringing the noise tonight, guys.
So let's see. We were talking about your competitions, right? We kind of touched on how you get into your first competition. Do you remember what was it like walking, like just stepping onto the stage? Were you just? I know you said your nerves kind of go now, but was that the same at the first competition? Were you shitting yourself?
I was shitting myself, but I don't know. I never really got the whole flapping out thing. I don't know. It just felt so natural to go on the stage, and I can't even explain why I felt like that. Because usually, like when I'm in CrossFit competitions, I'm like shiting myself, but I never ever felt
malnutrition. Thanks to the fact you've not got any energy to shut. Like,
well, I kind of
I've trained for this for 20 weeks.
I'm just fucked now.
Aye.
So, like, I always went on with the mentality thinking that as long as I had done my absolute best in my prep, then it doesn't matter what happens on that stage. If I win or I lost, it doesn't matter because I done my best anyway. I can't control what happens on that stage. So as long as I went on there knowing that I done my absolute best and I was on there as my best version, it doesn't matter if I won or I lost. It doesn't. So that's why my nerves weren't really there. So I didn't go on there to win. I went on there to be the best version of myself, and I'd done that. So the pressure was off anyway.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And see when you were talking about how you couldn't describe how you didn't have any nerves. Kerry, you explained this quite well about the chemical makeup of somebody who's excited.
Aye, the biological makeup, aye. They're both the same. So if you choose to be excited, you'll be excited. But if you choose to get nervous, you'll get nervous. And that's the actual biological makeup. Scientific proof that that's the exact same. I think who's the boss again? The musician. Who is he?
Musician.
He's an American guy. He's called the boss.
No idea, mate.
Gav, I thought he'd have been there for me. Before when it came to that sort of saviour, I'll need to Google him.
The boss.
Aye, Tony Robbins speaks about it. Taylor, you know Tony Robbins, wouldn't you? Tony Robbins. Do you know who? If you know who?
She's got Tony Pang. She does not need Tony Robbins.
Who's Tony Robbins?
Have you not heard of Tony Robbins before?
No.
Oh well, that's fine. Bruce Springsteen was asked by Tony Robbins, "How's it feel going on stage? You're buzzing, love it, magic." He asked the same question to a lesser known musician. She's nervous, horrible, disgusting. The chemical makeup of that is the exact same. So
that makes sense. It makes total sense.
Does make sense, aye. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
But Tony Robbins is big on mindset, he's big on goals, he's big on people. No, there you go. You did some homework. There you go. You came on here, we've learned a lot about you. Now you can learn about Tony Robbins.
See, when we were talking about your body fat percentage, so you said at one point you were 8% body fat. What is your body fat percentage stepping on stage? Is it lower than that, or is that you step on stage?
Yeah, so 8% is what I step on stage, which is extremely, extremely low for a female.
A female, aye, definitely.
Extremely low. So usually, I could probably sit at around 20 to 25% body fat. So it's 8% when I go on stage. So scarily, crazy, weird, freakily lean. But you kind of need to do what you need to do. But 8% is usually. I wouldn't settle for anything less than 8. Anything more than, you know what I mean. I wouldn't think.
So, what would you? If I know you feel, would you feel okay if it going lower? But you feel as if you go lower, then by God, you're going to end up in hospital very soon.
Could you even get lower? To be like,
no, I don't think I could. I think I would have died.
No. How tall are you? Just because I'm nosy.
How tall am I? 5'1.5".
Get the half in. Yes.
God, they just small people.
All us short people do that, Taylor.
So see that picture you showed earlier, Gav? Was that Taylor 8%?
Aye.
Right,
that was me 8%. I was very, very flat there. I hadn't had carbs in ages.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very flat there. But
You
yeah,
sit at that. How long do you sit at that for?
for the very, very minimal time. So
Correct. Right, good.
yeah,
Okay,
very
because if
minimal
there were
time.
right or wrong answer there, sorry, I just felt
No,
as if
so
hopefully you're
probably,
going to say, yeah.
yeah, probably. I would hope so. No more than 2 weeks. That I would like to sit there. Cause you don't want to be ready too early to go into a show either, because then it starts eating away at your muscle because you've no body fat.
Aye, you don't want to peak too early. Aye.
That's exactly it. You want to kind of cruise into your show, but be ready kind of just on time.
Yeah.
So how many competitions have you actually took part in now?
I done 6 last year.
Wow.
So last year was my first year competing, and I done 6. I done 3 Scottish shows and 3 British finals.
And you won the Scottish shows, is that right?
Yeah, I won all the Scottish shows. Yeah.
Wow.
Easy. Easy.
So where was the World supposed to be in May?
It was supposed to be in Birmingham.
Oh, really?
Birmingham? Wow, that's pure weird.
Birmingham. So yeah, it will go ahead again next year, but it probably will be in Birmingham. I can imagine if it was supposed to be in Birmingham, which I was glad about because
Don't
it
need
meant
travel
that
and
it was
stuff.
closer to home. My family could come and
But no, I feel as if it's something like that you might be in LA or New York or.
Well, was it not in the Bahamas last year?
So no, that was a different federation. That was so PTA is Worlds that I'm
Right.
doing, but me and my friend Stu Mac, we went to
That's right.
WBFF
Uh-huh.
federation,
Mac,
which
is
is
it?
in the Bahamas, because he's a European champ right now and the European champ from last year.
Yeah.
And then he was doing the Worlds, so the Worlds was in the Bahamas. So he's done phenomenal. He came fifth in the Worlds, incredible. But yeah, it would be nice to be somewhere exotic, I suppose. But I mean, Birmingham will do.
Aye, I think definitely, like you say, take for your family and any friends and stuff like that, and you don't need to travel long, so you can manage your diet and stuff like that a bit better, I suppose, couldn't you? So,
Oh, right, okay, you guys have been dead like sensible about it. I'm thinking.
yeah, just what
Is
Know the rest of it.
is that the Stu Mac that we know, Gav?
Aye.
No,
Aye.
is it? Oh,
Aye.
aye. Stu Mac's cool, man. I like Stu.
He's a good guy.
Nice
I've not
guy.
seen him in ages because it's all this bloody COVID stuff. But yeah, we had a great time in the Bahamas. It was actually a year ago yesterday that we went.
Oh,
We
was
knew
it?
that. That's how
Right.
we postponed this for so long.
But so what? So that's 6 shows last year.
Yeah.
So how many in total have you done?
6.
Is that what you've just done? 6, right? Okay. So
So yeah, last year was my first season competing. So,
right. Okay.
so
Right.
6 shows last year. Yeah. So
That's amazing. Your first year and you get 3 Scottish titles.
A show every 2 months then?
Wow, man.
I
that
so my
work?
my
Would
first
that
show
be
was
right?
April. My last show was October. So
Jesus.
right throughout
How
the
do
year.
you sustain that? Like, how do you keep?
It was really hard. It was really hard to sustain. I never ever expected to win any shows. So my aim was to go in and just do 2 shows in April, and then I would be done. And then I was like, okay, I've got
Done
a
well.
British final. Okay, I'll push on. And then I won 3 shows, and then ended up I was having to diet for longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
But there was no way in hell that I was going to back out, because I'm like, fucking got a British final, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but I don't regret it. I loved it. It was a good learning
no.
experience.
So
What would you take for it then? What was the biggest learning point for that?
Just not even just like diet and training. It's like the whole mindset thing. Like I went through that. Like I went on holiday like 4 times last year on prep. Like I split up with my partner. Like I done everything on prep, and I'm thinking if I can get through all that, then like I learned so much about myself.
it'll definitely kind of make for smoother sailing for future kind of thing.
It set me up in a good mindset that I'm like, if you can get through that, you can get through anything.
Aye.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm like such an independent woman now. Like, I feel like I can take on life.
Pure 4 holidays. But is Vimto looking for anybody? Can I be part of that family? I love Vimto.
So it was all these holidays were all like pre-booked before I was on prep, and then
Yeah.
when I obviously found out I was still going to have to be on prep on these holidays, I was like, oh, but it was fine. I managed it fine. I just drank Diet Coke all the time.
No Vimto, no Diet Vimto, Diet Vimto. We'll just edit this. Just edit this over. Edit over this. It was all Diet Vimto.
What would you say is the hardest part about prepping for a competition? Like full stop. Would you say diet, training, or moods?
Yeah, pretty much a bit of everything. It's the
Right, everything.
tiredness really that kicks in. It's the lack of energy to be able to do anything. Like walking up the stairs is a struggle. Like even walking to the microwave it is a struggle. The lack of sleep and the tiredness and the constantly having to move about, the cardio, the training.
So there's nothing that you've missed out there with regards to actually being
Aye.
part of this whole world. Like,
It's
if you don't
the
get
whole
DOMs
thing,
constantly as well, like, it's not just all the time,
Alright,
cover.
you're so moody as well. Like your hormones are totally everywhere, and like you don't really have a social life when you're on prep because you don't want to put yourself into a position where you feel uncomfortable because you can't join in. And if it was me, I would rather just not go to the situation, like go to the pub, because folk like, oh, how are you getting on in prep? And that's all they ask you. Just have a normal you just have a normal conversation with somebody, and they're all pure steaming in your face, and you're just like,
I'll just see you
social
later. I know, I can imagine it's just pure horrible.
So next up for you, obviously, competition-wise, I'm assuming you probably don't really know what's happening now because of all this, or have you got something for future lined up?
Yes, so...
Is this an exclusive, or are you going to keep it?
I think I've not actually told anybody, I don't think.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah, I can, yeah, so... I'm going to do Worlds. So Worlds will happen next year, and I will do Worlds. And then I have the plan to compete at Two Bros, and try for my pro card.
Ooh.
So that
was great. That was great. Like the harmonies there.
So that is the plan. I will have to soften my look slightly because I'm not going into the figure category. So at the moment I'm in a train bikini category for PCA.
Yeah.
Whereas when that converts over to Two Bros, that is more of the figure girls. However, for me to be competitive within a figure category, I do not believe that I can go on natural.
Yeah.
So I then need to make the decision, do I go enhanced or do I go natural? And I do not want to be enhanced. I don't have anything against it, and I think people can go into that figure category without being enhanced, but for me I don't think I can. So
how briefly can you explain enhanced?
Steroids.
There you go.
Very brief.
Moving on.
So
it's just some people would be like, what does that mean?
Sorry.
Just...
for me, it's just not for me personally. I don't have anything against it, and I think that steroids are like they have their place in bodybuilding.
Yeah. Each to their own. If people are interested in it.
I know a lot of girls who are on it, and they have done absolutely phenomenal. But for me to compete within that category, and for me to do well, if I was able to get my pro card, and for me to compete in the pro league, there's no way that I could do that naturally. So therefore, I will need to take a little step back and compete in bikini, so I can do that to the best of my ability without having to go enhanced.
It sounded like you've been a wee bit like PR trained there, the way you kind of
look at
it. No, it sounded really good. It sounded really, really good. So I thought all the kind of steroidy things was banned in that. So now they have two, right, if you want to do that, you go there. If you want to do that, you go there. And that's
so
that.
there is drug-free federations. I don't compete in the drug-free federations, though. I compete in the federations that you are allowed to use drugs in. Just because that I prefer the federations, that's all it pretty much is. So so I want to do Two Bros, and I want to get my pro card for my IFBB pro card, and that is not a drug tested federation. So I could be or I could not be against those that are.
Well, that just shows something for you that you've still managed to win 3 competitions, and do you know what I mean? So.
Is that because that's a more popular, more recognised, people see a lot more there? And the other federations on these, like, well viewed? Or...
No, like, they're all really prestige federations. I've never went down the drug-free federation. So I've just, PCA was always my goal. So, so in terms of, like, you can use like fat burners, things like that, and PCA, Obviously, you can use steroids as well. So, but you obviously can't use that in the drug-free one. So, I just didn't want to use steroids. So that's the reason why that I won't probably compete in figure. That I probably will do bikini.
Cool. So that's your next competition is going to be the Worlds next year?
Yes, it'll be train bikini Worlds, and then after that I'll push on for Tublos at bikini.
Brilliant, man.
Well, good luck.
Imagine having goals for that length in the future. Man, that's brilliant, isn't it? Imagine having that many goals.
We'll see if I make it anyway. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, come on.
You'll be absolutely fine.
Cool.
Right, we've got a question for you, Tayla, that we ask everybody. Kenny, you want to ask anything else before I
I'll mess this question up if I try and ask it. No, we've asked everything. I was just looking there to see. We've asked what the next competition is. Are you looking forward to gyms opening? You're training in gyms, just sneaking into gyms, so we already know that.
So my friend's actually opening a gym in Kilmarnock called Evolution.
Right.
So that's where I'll be PTing from.
Right.
So it's like a boxing gym as well. So it looks absolutely phenomenal. So I can't wait till he opens as well. So if anybody's like looking for a gym in Ayrshire, it's definitely one to look up on Instagram and Facebook. So it's called Evolution. So you guys should come down and come train.
Try, definitely.
Hi.
Boxing, yeah.
I'll come and watch. You two can train and I'll just watch.
Throw me under the bus. I can't do boxing. In fact, it would be good to go and try boxing. I would like to try it.
It's really like a functionally fit sport.
I love it. It's brilliant.
It's really difficult though. I get a wee better about it. I find I've tried boxing.
No, it was enough for you.
Do your thing.
I feel as if you've either got it even know. We'll go and try it one day, Gav. Why don't we take?
We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try.
We'll go see Tayla. We'll get some pads on, and we'll definitely never follow through on this, right?
Right. So, one more question for you, Tayla. So we ask everybody who's on the podcast.
We try and remember anyway.
We'll try and remember. Sometimes we're a bit pissed and forget, but I remember because I'm sober. So if you could have one drink and one drink only, what would you have and who would it be with? Dead or alive, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, but preferably alcoholic.
No, it's not preferable. Don't endorse alcohol.
I would probably have an old-fashioned.
Wow.
With Frank Sinatra.
Oh, classic.
Oh, I didn't even see that coming there.
You see that coming?
Remember we asked each other?
Coming,
I did not. No. I thought you were going to say like I thought you say like a glass of water with Ronnie Coleman or something.
Aye. He was good on Joe Rogan, wasn't he?
He was really good.
Aye, he was class.
But aye, so that was unexpected, but well received.
What do you like about? No, we need to ask more about that. What, you listen to Frank Sinatra? You just.
I like Frank Sinatra.
But in the gym, bit of Frank.
Not in the gym. It reminds me of Papa, and so my Papa always sings, and it just makes me it just brings back good vibes.
That's brilliant,
that's
man.
Good. That's nice.
I love that. That's what I love. This is why I want to ask this question to everybody. An old-fashioned.
It's funny because see all the different answers we've had, like, and you never expect it. Sometimes you do expect it a wee bit, but that was a really good answer. That was my answer as well. No, class. Frank Sinatra, but I said an old-fashioned. No, I said an old-fashioned. Remember, we were sitting.
We never posted yours. We never posted yours or mine.
What
I was really
yours?
drunk when we done mine. If you tell yours, I'll tell mine.
Right, I mean, not to change my person. No, I'll keep my same person. I said an old-fashioned with Barack Obama.
Oh.
Just because I think he's so cool, man, and I'd love to ask him inside stuff.
Really class. But would you ask him about the codes for the nukes, or would you go? How's it been?
I don't know what I would ask him. To be honest, I'd probably just wing it.
I said a pint. My dad passed away when I was really young, so I said I'd love to have a pint and just with my dad.
Oh, that's lovely.
That'd be cool. Pure pint, like just a
pint.
It was a pint of tenants as well. You said.
I had a pint of tenants today, man. Really enjoyed it.
How many pints you had today?
Right, guys. Just let the counter back. I had 2 pints of Stella, a pint of Tennent's, two cans of Brewdog Elvis juice, and I did have a can of dragon soup before we come on here. How dare you bring me down like that, Taylor? Can you show everybody your vodka and cranberry juice and your mix?
You need my Vimto?
Tony, if you watch this, if you do, that's vodka and Vimto. It's a double V. That's what she calls it
Aye.
before she comes on. Got my
Vivi.
Uh-huh.
It's French.
Sugar free. I know.
Right, brilliant. So, Tayla, thanks very much for coming on, and
And off. Awesome.
we'll
Good
maybe
luck.
see you at the gym in Arnold.
Aye. No,
Think
I would
about
really.
it.
I would do that. I would actually go down and try the boxing thing. But
You should.
we should. Gav, you up for it? Like, one day
Aye, we'll
go
give it
down,
a go, mate. We'll give it a go.
Also, it'd be cool to speak to you just before Worlds next year if you still talk to us.
Definitely.
Still,
Just to
Back
see
back
how
on.
different your attitude is, because it would be funny to see.
You'll be calling us everything.
Don't ask me that.
By then.
Would you go quite drawn in?
Oh my god, I end up looking like an absolute yeah.
See when you're like that, how many people say you need a good feed ton? How
You
many
need a
people say-
cheese banker. You need well, you need a punch in the throat.
And the throat,
Leaving the face and the throat
No.
as well.
right to the
And the
throat.
throat.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank
Enjoy
you
the
so
rest of your
much.
night.
Thank you
Enjoy.
so much.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.